My name's Simon Collins. I'm lucky enough to be the Dean of the School of Fashion at Parsons, and we have the most incredible all-star panel. I don't think that this much talent has been assembled for this smaller group in any time that I can remember, because any one of these people could command an audience of 1,000.
We're here to celebrate the launch of the new edition of the fashion book. It's an absolutely beautiful publication, gorgeous cover.
I think there are some icons in the industry, and this book certainly contains many of them. It's evolved from its first publication 15 years ago, and it contains new iconic elements now.
I think iconic people are very take it or leave it. This is what you see, this is what you get. Being iconic implies having a specific image.
Style icons have always been from high society. Even Elizabeth I was the ultimate style icon.
It used to be among a very few people that were fashionistas and people were in the inside circle of fashion. But fashion is totally now democratized.
When you're looking at a screen, it doesn't matter where you're from. You can be up there.
I think the Russians are really interesting in the style icon race, because they started saying that we don't need to do our lookbooks, we don't need to do big budget shows, we can just take pictures of each other, and they've become, a phenomenon.
People nowadays complain about people who are just hanging around dressing up, waiting to be photographed outside a fashion show. I sort of think that's quite fantastic, actually.
Nobody thought I was an icon or anything. I kind of had an overnight success, but my overnight success took about 70-odd years.
They always say in magazines, before you go out, always take off one accessory. I always think you should put an extra one on.
I live by that rule. I love that.
For me, fashion is about self-expression, and the more people who can have self-expression, either creating it, or writing about it, or interpreting it, is a great thing.
15 years ago, it wasn't so related to brands or money or this or that, and now it seems to be driving force. Not in a bad way, but it just is what it is.
It's changed completely. For me, London was in the centre of the world of fashion, but for most other people, it wasn't. It really was Paris. But now, as then, Britain isn't really acknowledged as being the centre where every fashion starts off. Since the earliest days of Style.com, designers would take small pictures or look at it on prints on a monitor to see how they would register on Style.com. That's why black clothes aren't selling so well at the moment, because they don't read on a monitor. So it's really changing fashion. However, the complete terror, which is the pencil and the piece of white paper, and what you're going to do, is still as relevant now as it was 15 years ago.
I think one of the great troubles today is a lot of students just look for other fashion people to model after, and I think you get inspiration out of being alive, and I think fashion is a mirror of economics, politics, social values, all of that. It's a mirror of what's going on in the world.
It should reflect your life and your existence.
It's just taking your life and putting it into clothes. That's, in a way, all we've got.
We're getting all our inspiration from the internet. I find the best, most inspiring things still come from direct contact, from word of mouth, and it's really, really hard to find that now, because you are in the kind of echo chamber of the web.
One of the best pieces of advice I ever received: if you want to get interesting things, look out of your own field. You have to be aware of what's going on. I mean, the birds singing one day can give you a message.
First of all, draw, and my second one would be make. Draw or make. It really is that simple. Draw, because that's your tool to communicate with the world with ideas. You need to draw every day, you need to practice, you need to get better and better. And two, you need to make clothes. If this is what you want to do, you need to make clothes, you need to experiment, you need to practice your skills.
I mean, I don't think you can go ahead and be a great designer if you can't sew and you can't cut. I think you have to know how to do every single part of the craft to have a beautiful finished product, so that even if you don't have to do it, you know how it should be done.
Be interested in everything and just really work at it. Like, go and try at that internship and hate it, and know that you don't need to do that, and then keep figuring it out, and it's all just about hard graft actually.
Live and you know, sop it all up, and you'll get very wonderful inspirations that way.